These days, and probably for several of the preceding decades to 2020, parents have taught the worship of materialism and pleasure seeking behavior to their children. In the ever increasing race to pursue vanity, fame, wealth, and other shallow pursuits, such as the accumulation of material possessions, children are often being left out in terms of educating them about God or spirituality or the Bible at all. When you take them to church, they go to these different programs like VBS or Jump or some other thing like that, which is mostly centered around music and getting the kids moving, getting them physically involved and excited about the experience. They used to end up being dumped off at school or daycare or summer camp or something along those lines. This was occurring so much prior to the coronavirus that parents and children really did not get to see each other more than a few minutes a day except on the weekend, and then they would go to church on one or more days of the week, usually on Sunday if they went at all. The parents weren't teaching the children much except to pursue wealth and the accumulation of material possessions. And oftentimes, if they encouraged them to get an education, it was just to secure a high paying job so that they could, again, pursue material possession and becoming wealthy. And vanity. Expensive vacations, fast cars, and most especially enjoying themselves as much as possible when they weren't working. They would tell them anything goes as long as you are not caught. This enjoyment was promoted over the self-interest of anyone they might encounter in the process of pleasure-seeking behavior. This was especially true in cases where the fun they were having was at the expense of someone who they did not consider a member of the family. At this point in thinking, they have long factored God or his teachings out of any consideration. And what's going on is that a lot of the time when you hear about people being victimized, this is the lifestyle that they've been taught. They're only concerned with themselves. They're not concerned with helping anyone else or making the world a better place. And they really don't give any thought to the suffering that they're causing. And at the end of the day, if they say something happens and they end up losing everything, all material wealth, and a disaster hits them, and maybe several people in their family die or are killed or something to that effect, if they don't have anything or anyone left in their lives, the only thing they would have left is God. And I know that doesn't sound like you would want it to, but what I'm trying to say here is that if you don't have God to begin with, you have nothing. That's the thing. So these people don't know what to do. If something bad ever happens and they suddenly have nothing and all their money is worthless, their material possessions are all destroyed by a disaster or something and they can't recover from that, they're just going to be devastated. I know what that's like because I've seen it. You know, when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, there were people who had been hit by flooding recently, even before that. And when you get hit by 5 or 6 back-to-back major flood events, and you lose everything each time, it gets to the point where you don't even want to own things anymore because then it'll be a loss for you every time something like that happens, especially if you don't relocate or take any steps to prevent future catastrophe where you're at. But that's why parents need to teach their children about God and have them read the Bible and learn. You know, if you're an atheist and you believe in nothing, there's not going to be any comfort. There won't be any comfort for you if things go really bad and the world does come to an end at some point. People don't realize that our existence here is so finite. You know, it really is. And you can't base the whole value of your existence around what you have or how much of a good time you're having all the time. People can take what you have, they can take your wealth, and they can take your possessions, they can take your home, they can take your life, but they can't take your relationship with God. They can't take who you are. Those are the only two things that they can't take from you.